Today we're going to be talking about the possibilities or the events that it may happen once our government becomes truly desperate. And I'm going to say this because what I have seen happen in Cuba is an indicator of what can happen here. Now, thus far, you all know what's going on. The federal government is printing money left and right. Inflation is up the wazoo. A clear example is how much a gallon of milk cost you 3 years ago versus how much a gallon of milk costs you today. I mean, the proof is on the pudding. It's right there for everybody to see. If you are saying no, there's no inflation, well, I guess you are blind to the fact that, well, essentially you are seeing it. You're just ignoring it. You putting your head in the sand like an ostrich and you just ignoring it because you just don't want to deal with reality. And there's a lot of folks with that mindset, which is kind of dangerous in my opinion, but that's a topic for a different video. Now, you can tell right now that the government is getting a bit worried. This is a very troublesome year because there is that event that is going to happen in November that is going to elect a new set of rules for the entire country. And the current bubblehead, I don't think wants to really the power. Now, a lot of folks will say, well, no, it has to happen, yada, yada, yada. Well, this is a democratic country. This, the peaceful transaction of power and whatnot. But here's the thing, and this is what you all need to start considering. What if they don't? You guys can argue and say, well, no, it will be the first time in history. Well, could potentially be the first time in history, but there's always a first time for anything, right? I mean, we have a first World War I, and then a second one happened, and we may be opening the doors for a third one. But there's always a first time for everything. Now, with that being said, why I'm saying that there is a possibility, I'm not saying that it's going to happen, I'm just saying there is a possibility. How much censorship you have to deal with every single day. Not just on YouTube. Let's ignore YouTube for a moment. Let's ignore social media for a moment. Let's think about your workplace. Can you truly say what you want? Can you truly go in there in a staff meeting and say, I just don't agree with your sorry ass decision because you just don't represent the will of the people? Can you literally say that if you're a staff and if you work in government? Can you really say that? You cannot. If you say that, you most likely will get fired on the spot. Bam. Like that. So your freedom of speech and your freedom to say whatever heck you want, it's censored. It's censored. If you don't go with the flow, they will put you down. Flat out. They will remove you from your position. So now, why I'm saying that they're getting desperate? I'm saying they're getting desperate because not only the censorship, but the constant erosion of our rights are rampaging. And you can see this by the fact that politicians are ignoring what we the people are wanting to do. If you don't want to raise taxes, for example, like here in Fairbanks, Alaska, well, the elected politicians are just going to ignore you. And they're going to put a special election so you can pay more taxes because they feel that they know better than you. That's an example, and a real life example that we are dealing with right now here in Fairbanks, Alaska. I'm pretty sure that you are dealing with similar issues in your area, and if you don't mind, share those issues in the comment section below and let everybody know what is going on around the country. Now, things that we saw in Cuba, or things that I saw in Cuba, when the government didn't want people to voice their opinion, well, the propaganda got pushed up a little bit. on the television. They control the narrative. They really do. And that's what I'm seeing here. When you hear all the time folks saying, "Well, that's not the official narrative or the official answer from the government." Well, all you're hearing is them giving an excuse to the bad things they are doing. You're not hearing the truth. You're hearing something that they want to tell you, so you can be like, okay. I understand that my rights are taken away. I understand that I'm just going to get screwed, but I understand. I am a good, law-abiding citizen, so I will do what Big Brother says. That's all they expect you to do. Honestly, they don't want you to question anything. Now, in Cuba, it was exactly the same way. If more than 3 or 4 people were congregating in the corner or, just around the neighborhood, just talking, no more than 20 minutes will pass, then a police patrol will pass by and say, "Hey, disperse, everybody out. Come on. We don't need people together. Come on." And if you refuse to do it, they will come down from their cars and they will give you a beating. In here hasn't come to that point yet. However, I want to point you out to the fact that you cannot say what you want on Facebook. You cannot say what you want on YouTube. There is real censorship. So they're not giving you a physical beating yet. But they are using private companies to restrict the way that we send the message or the way that we give y'all messages with a different point of view. Are we going to see people getting beatings, because they don't agree with current policies? Maybe. I can't say that we won't. I mean, y'all can argue all you want. We have a constitutional right. If they don't want to respect the constitutional right, guess what? Unless we bundle together and we fight as one, they're going to continue doing it. Because right now, we are so divided that we cannot agree on a simple 1 + 1. We just can't. We are very divided. Now, when you see prices keep going up and the government keeps printing money, our money continues to lose value. That is a way of controlling. Hear me out. It is a way of controlling because that right there makes you as a citizen, you as a person, just middle class or lower class, whatever you want to call yourself or whatever you want to classify yourself in, it makes you work longer. The longer that you are at work, doing a task, the less time that you have to actually see what's going on in the world. Meaning that a slave does not have the time to be concerned with the bigger picture. That's what they want you to be. A slave, constantly working so you won't be able to see the bigger picture. And when you realize what's going on, it is too late. You have no power, you have no rights, and all you can do is continue to work until the day you die, owning nothing and having nothing under your name to pass on to your loved ones. And you're going to argue all you want, but that is the sad truth, y'all. How many young people nowadays can own their own house? Very few. A mediocre house nowadays, a mediocre house, $200,000. A house that 10 years ago was no more than $80,000. A house that not more than 20 years ago was $50,000. The proof is on the pudding, y'all. If people choose to ignore that, that is up to them. But the proof is on the pudding. Everything you can find and you can put the dots together. You really can. Now, Desperation has not 100% sink in yet. I guarantee you, the closer that we get to November, the closest or the more desperate they're going to become. And you're going to see those news outlets out there, spewing lies, saying, this poll shows this, we're going to be doing this. I mean, for 4 years, how many things has the orange guy have to endure because they just want to disqualify him? It is insane. Never in the history of the U.S. a formal head honcho have to endure so much so he can run again. It is insanity. That right there should give you everything that you need to know, whether or not there is desperation in this government. Now, what can you do? What can you do as a normal citizen, as a Joe Schmo? All you can do is continue to do what you're doing. Be aware of what's going on. Don't swallow the lie. Honestly, just don't. Stay your ground, meaning that if you are not okay with the things that are being pushed onto you, say something. If you stay quiet, you are making a choice. By not speaking, you are making a choice. You are not making it better. It is time for all of us to stop the nonsense of, well, we should stay quiet and, just let it be as long as it doesn't hurt me anymore. It is hurting you. By you not speaking, it is hurting you. You have to stop. You need to stop taking the beatings all the time, because that is not physical abuse, but it's mental abuse. You are being told that your rights, you have none, and their rights are what matters. No, this is a republic, y'all. Everybody's rights are equally the same. Their rights are not more than yours, and yours are not more than them. We are equally the same. That's the beauty of a republic. It is. Nonetheless, I don't want to get this video too long. Speak up. Stop staying quiet. Don't be the shadow in the room. Speak up. Can it bring consequences to you? Everything in life has consequences, but you staying quiet has brought a lot of consequences to. This is the reason that we are in the mess that we are nowadays. I remember a lot of times at work, I was told, please play nice. I was told that a lot of time by upper management, because they knew that I was not going to stay quiet. They knew that if I did not agree with something, I was going to speak my mind. And if they knew, most of all, that if I was not okay with whatever they were doing, I wasn't going to do it. And my answer to them was always the same. You can fire me if you want to. Go ahead. Make my day. Let's see what happens. So, I know not everybody can do that, but you need to put yourself in a position that you are able to do that. Because that way, they will not be able to put their foot on your throat like they have right now. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Like I was rock on, rip on, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye, everybody.